原装引领智慧未来，尊敬的各位领导、各位来宾、现场和线上的合作伙伴，大家下午好！欢迎大家来到岂止于大，未来以来天合光能至尊小金刚组件暨原装系统新品发布会。我是本次发布会主持人潘杰。本次发布会为全球发布，采用双语直播，同样欢迎现场以及线上各位参会的合作伙伴的到来。
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to VerTex S Global Launch, the ultra high performance module series for all rooftops. I'm Rocky Lee, product manager of Trina Solar. We'll be your English language host today. The conference is a global release, bilingual broadcast. Also welcome online audience and partners.
2017年的3月10号。我们也是在这里呢，召开了我们的济南发布会，以原装为器，吹响号角，征战分布式，创造了属于我们大家的奇迹。3年后的今天，我们再次在这里集结，创新超越，再扬风帆。
As the photovoltaic industry enters the grid parity era, more efficient and powerful modules are becoming mainstream. Since the beginning of 2020, Trina has successfully launched 500 watts, 550 watts, and 600 watts ultra-high VerTex modules, and already achieved 2 gigawatts globally in the last 8 months. The VerTex family modules leads the industry step into 600 watts era. In addition to large ground power plant, distribution market is also eagerly expecting more powerful, more productive, dedicated design modules for all rooftops. First, please allow me to introduce our speakers today. Our overseas live guests are Mr. Vincent Wu, Head of Global Module Distribution Sales Management of Trina Solar, Dr. Frank Zhang, Head of Global Product Strategy and Market of Trina Solar, Mrs. Holly Wu, Senior Analyst of IHS Market. On site, we have Mr. Zhang Xiaobing, Executive Vice Chairman of Shandong Solar Energy Industry Association, Mr. Zhang Bin, Company VP, President of Smart Distributed Energy Value Group, and Mr. Zhang Rongmin, Mr. Wang Yong, Mr. Chen Chunsheng, Mr. Zhang Ping, Mr. Xu Fangliang, Mr. Li Shaohui from Smart Distributed Energy Value Group. First, let us welcome our first speaker, Mr. Vincent Wu, Head of Global Module Distribution Sales Management of Trina Solar, to introduce Trina Solar's global module distribution business.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all the partners, all the guests, and also friends online from all time zone. This is Vincent Wu from Trina Solar, responsible for module sales management. It's a great honor to have all of you gathering here and to give you some update of Trina Solar and our distribution solar business. And for some of the old partners or old friends of Trina, you might already know that Trina was established in 1997. One day, our CEO, our founder, Mr. Gao, read in the newspaper that most of the economic entity, major economic entity, agreed of the Tokyo Agreement, and also read in the newspaper that US will have 1 million rooftop solar system in the very near future. So he was very excited, and he find a very good chance and his life business to use use solar to benefit for the whole human society. So then he established Trina Solar. So from the very beginning, from when Trina was born, the globalization view and also the usage and the application of solar in residential and commercial is in the genes of Trina. And after 20 years hard working from Trina Solar, today we have a very globalized organization. Globally, we have 7 sales regions in EU, in America, in APAC, in Latin America, in Middle East, and also in Japan. Besides, we have a lot of manufacturer bases, both in China and also overseas. In overseas, like Vietnam and Thailand, we serve for the anti-dumping areas like US and Turkey. Besides, for distribution, a lot of our customer actually place comparatively small order, but with many repeating time orders, and the orders almost need to be in very short lead time. So Trina planned quite a lot of local warehouse globally to fulfill such urgent and also demanding requirement. We have a warehouse in Rotterdam in Netherlands. We have warehouse in India, have a warehouse in Australia, in US, in California, New York, and also Texas. Also, we'll have warehouse in Japan. So we will be very close to our customer to fulfill their requirement. In the past 20 years, accumulatedly, Trina shipped 55 gigawatt modules, and around 30 to 40% is serving our distributed solar market. Besides the headquarters in each region, we have more than 20 region offices. So we are to be very close with our customer. Our modules has been shipped to more than 100 countries, and with support from more than 1,000 distributors. So maybe also including some of you online. If you are not among them, I think you can join now. 1,000 distribution choice definitely will not be wrong. Okay, and here I give you some update of Trina Solar finance. Trina Solar was listed in New York Stock delisted from New York Stock in 2017. And now this year, June, we come back to Chinese stock market. We have IPO in Shanghai Stock Exchange market. And in the first three quarters this year, Trina achieved a very remarkable finance achievement. We have increased 18% of our operation income compared with last year after 3 quarters. And we almost 1 billion RMB profit in the 16%. So Trina always keep us in a very sustainable and also stable finance status, which is especially important for solar business and for our customer to get a certain kind of flexible commercial solutions. And our product is kind of a product have a life cycle more than 20 to 30 years, and also warranty almost the same. So it is very important we have a very reliable product. Trina has been recognized as the top bankability modules in the past 5 years by Bloomberg module bankability result. So of course, a lot of the efforts is from the trust of our customer side. And so choose Trina is always the most reliable choice of the market. And not only the bankability, but also supply is another very important issue. I think most of you might suffer quite a lot of the challenge of supply this year in the market. Next year, Trina will have a very big capacity expansion plan. Actually, by the end of this year, we will have more than 22 gigawatt capacity with 10 gigawatt for VerTex and also VerTex S, which will be announced later. And by the end of next year, we will have more than 50 gigawatt capacity. Actually, for the capacity expansion, Trina already signed the agreement with the local government in Dafeng, Yancheng, 10 gigawatt, and also in Changzhou, our HQ for 50 gigawatt. So definitely we will have enough capacity and also can fulfill any order requirement from your side. So just place order to us. We will deliver whatever you need, okay? And although the capacity we increased quite a lot in the years, but Trina always make sure we are doing the very clean and green business to make sure we are environment friendly. So we did quite a lot of efforts compared with 2014. In 2018, we managed to reduce quite a lot of our electricity, water, and also the greenhouse gas emission. The greenhouse gas emission reduced more than 35%, electricity more than 40%, and water usage more than 32%. With all these kind of efforts, Trina also awarded by the CSR of the Golden Recognition level, also the top position of module manufacturer in SVTC. So why we, in general, why we choose Trina, and almost 1 of 10 customers choose Trina. We have a very stable supply chain. Just as mentioned earlier, we have a local warehouse to cover most of the regions. So customer can have multiple choice to supply from either local warehouse or from China or from our overseas factories in Vietnam or Thailand. Also, Trina will have enough production capacity availability to fulfill any urgent or any big orders. And with delivery more than 55 gigawatts in the history. So we definitely will have a very stable logistic capability to make sure a customer can get whatever modules in time, which is especially important for our distribution and also the distributed local solar market. And we have a very reliable quality and service. We have more than 20 offices globally, so we are very close to our customer. We have a very localized team for the pre-sales, in-sales, and after-sales service. And we also, from the very beginning, Trina is put a lot of efforts and also attention in the distributed market. So we have quite a lot of experience and have a very mature quality management and assurance system to make sure our products with very good quality, especially for the distributed market. And pricing, okay, pricing is always a very important topic. And with Trina side, we have a very good cost structure of full industrial value chain to control our cost. And also as a long history manufacturer, we have a lot of advanced technology and also T1 scaled advantage of manufacture. So we can control the manufacture cost, and we have very stable and healthy finance performance, which can give our customer very flexible commercial terms and commercial solutions. Okay. And last, we are talking about the products, leading products. From the very beginning, Trina developed quite a lot of leading products like the Honey, the Tomax, and today we will have another one. And Trina is always putting a lot of efforts to give our customer higher power bin and higher efficiency products, which should be operational friendly and with very good quality and also warranty. So today we will have our Dr. Zhang to give you another leading product, the next generation VerTex S. Okay, so let's excitedly expecting for the next introduction of Mr. Zhang. Okay, thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to move to the very exciting moment of launch ceremony very soon. Please wait for a moment. Thank you very much.
产品呢，是我们打开市场、站稳市场的制胜法宝。在新产品的研发道路上，天合光能始终走在行业前列，以品质塑造形象，以创新锻造经典。加上我们光伏人敢想、敢试、敢闯、敢干的精神，我们坚信一切的美好都将如约而至。
Product is the key to open and stabilize the market. In the development of new products, Trina Solar has always been the forefront of the industry. to create an image of quality, innovation to forge the classic.
下面进入到我们第一款新产品的发布环节。
Now,
有请
ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the exciting launch ceremony.
有请山东省太阳能行业协会常务副会长张小兵先生。
Please welcome Mr. Zhang Xiaobing, Executive Vice Chairman of Shandong Solar Energy Industry Association.
天合光能股份有限公司副总裁、天合智慧分布式能源有限公司总裁张斌先生。
Mr. Zhang Bing, Company VP President of Smart Distributed Energy Value Group.
天合光能产品战略与市场部负责人张应斌博士。
Dr. Frank Jiang, Head of Global Product Strategy and Market of Trina Solar.
天合光能组件技术高级总监王乐先生。
Mr. Baron Wang, Senior Director of Module Technology of Trina Solar.
天合智慧分布式能源价值群助理副总裁张荣敏先生。
Mr. Zhang Rongming, Assistant Vice President of Trina Smart Distributed Energy.
天合光能全球组件分销销售管理负责人吴冠军先生。
Mr. Vincent Wu, Head of Global Module Distribution Sales Management of Trina Solar.
有请各位领导上台为新产品揭幕。
Welcome to open the curtain for the exciting VerTex modules.
至尊小金刚是一种针对分布式光伏电站的通用解决方案，有着不同的外观设计可供选择，能够同时满足住宅和商业客户的需求。
VerTex S is a dedicated design for distribution channel, available in a variety of designs to meet the needs for both residential and CNI customers.
下面进入到我们揭幕仪式环节。
3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1，请各位领导为我们的至尊小金刚揭幕。
请我们各位领导台中央合影留念。
Please everyone come to the center of the stage and take a group photo.
“光伏行业已经步入超高功率时代，继地面电站之后，此次分布式全面升级405瓦至尊技术平台，标志着分布式光伏开启了超高功率的新时代。
Based on the VerTex technology platform, the distributed products are upgraded to 405 watts, marking the opening of new era of ultra-high power of distribution photovoltaic.
下面有请张迎斌博士为我们带来至尊小金刚的详细解读。
Now you must wonder what exciting key features of VerTex S, what are the technologies? Let's welcome Dr. Frank Jiang, Head of Global Product Strategy and Market of Trina Solar, to provide us the VerTex S product introduction.
掌声有请。
We are very glad to be here on behalf of Trina to share with you about our new product launch of VerTex S. This graph has been showing us the solar PV installation in the past decade and in the future 15 years. It started from just over like 30 gigawatts to more than 120 gigawatts. It is expected to exceed the threshold of 200 gigawatts in the next 5 years. The one in red highlighted is for distributed power generation, accounts for up to 30%, which ranges from 50 to 80 gigawatts. As we are facing up against such a fast evolving market, we do need a very dedicated and compatible module products. Now, why do we say so? As we are very familiar in the marketplace that the typical utility one are designed for rooftop, for the CNI and other products. It has limited area with a very diversified workload on installation. Apart from the key parameters of power and efficiency, it imposes very high request for size, appearance, reliability, and weight. According to a very updated research and a survey across the globe, can we find across the most markets and economies, there are some specific requests for weight, for size, no matter from Australia, from US, from Europe, for example, 1.8 meters is the ceiling. And from the local regulation, especially occupational safety and hygiene requirement, it requires the weight you bear is not more than 50 pounds, which means, let's say for distributed generation, have really a lot of work of installation. And we're about to launch VerTex S, really deserve it. It is launched in a very timely manner at a very timely timing. This is also some of our key parameters of VerTex X, 1.75 meters, 21 kg, and also we have 21% max efficiency and max power of 405 watts. It offers better degradation and even longer warranty. How can we achieve that? As we are all familiar with as well, we have launched a portfolio of VerTex. We already have launched 500 and 600 watts. VerTex S has been a very great DNA in consistency, including 210 big wafer, advanced MBB, creative, non-destructive cutting, high density interconnection, you name it. People may ask us, compared to our peers and competitors, what's our actually unique selling points? And for users, what kind of benefit you can have access to? Number one, I think that's one of the key differentiators. It's small in size, but big on power. Compared to our competitors and peers, we have improved up to 30 to 60 watts power higher. Hereby, to show you more specifically, this is actually a people of 1.754 millimeters. These are the mainstream products, 158 60 wafers, which is 340 watts. The other 166 and 370 watt per hours are 405 watts. That's VerTex S, which increased by a range from 30 to 60 watts. We have improved efficiency. We increase not only the size issue, we have bigger power, reduced the size. The efficiency is 21.1%, which increased by 0.3% to 0.8% respectively. So we have improvement on all of the above mentioned parameters, key parameters. And also there are even 450 watt and 500 watts are available. But why do we need VerTex S? A very good question, a valid question. I'm gonna ask to answer you now. Let's just take a look. We have 72 watts. You want to reach 400 watt, and this is the length, it has been close to 2 meters for 166. It's longer. And what about the weight? It's more than 23 kilograms. What about the other two? 540 watt, and Trina have our own 550 watts, the weight of which is 228 kilograms. Yeah, these are facing up against the utility. They are not for non-utility scenarios. So for ours, especially, no matter for the power, efficiency, length, are very well balanced, which has demonstrated the very key unique selling points, which is small in size, but big on power. Let's move on to the next differentiators. For such a module, under the same PV system, so if we can increase the power yield up to 10% to 23%, we are about to show you from a simulation, give you a better interruption. We selected Shandong province. It's a very typical roof for the DG. And we have the wavelength of 5.3 meters. And also we have 16.7 meters from eastern to western. We have 4 modules with simulated installation. You are very interested in the figures. 400 watt, that's 158, but the length is 2 meters. Across such a rooftop, we can only mount 2. Actually, we can mount less than 13 kilowatts. But for the others, it has reached 16 to 16.5 kilowatts. But if we are going to use VerTex S, you may mount 18.23 kilowatt. The capacity has been improved up to 10% to 23% in terms of the yield. We have made another life cycle simulation. We may generate more than actually over 30,000 to 60,000 kilowatt hours. That's a very big economic benefit you can calculate. The next is that facing up against a variety of scenarios for DG, we are very agile and flexible. We fit for a variety of installation approaches. And also it has no issue of an inverter for utility scenario. We have very flexible installation.
Trina really focuses on innovation, and we are really customer-centric. So when we do the R&D, we have done very thorough survey across the whole world. So we have considered the different flexible installation solutions. So no matter the four-points mounting, points mounting in Japan, or the sharing rail and sliding mounting, cross the beam, etc. So we have a very diversified installation solutions, and we are adaptable to all kinds of weathers, like strong winds or snowy weathers or heavy rains. As I've mentioned, our VerTex S has inherited the DNA from our previous modules, and some people have concerns of the big current, and we have the 3 cuts, 1/3 cuts, and the non-destructive cutting. So we have ICS 12.34 ampere, and the open current voltage is 41.4 volt, and we are compatible to all the mainstream inverters. So there's no concern of the choice of the inverters. The next important selling point is why it is called VerTex S, and it's a small size but big on power. Another important selling point is that its durability and reliability. It has a lower degradation, higher power yield, and a longer warranty. Let's look at the details. So we have 2% first year degradation, 0.55% annual degradation, and a 25-year power warranty. This is the simulation. At the end of the life of 25 years, we still have about 85% power yield, which is 2% higher than our peers. We also have a 15-year product workshop warranty. If it's necessary, we also offer different extension of warranties, about 10 years or 15 years according to your needs. Another core advantage of our VerTex S is that we have the aesthetic black appearance. We have a black frame, black backsheet. We have ultra thin wires, so it looks totally in black color. We also have made innovation to our manufacturing process, so we can guarantee the evenness of the color. We want to make sure our VerTex S is a good product of power generation. It also is a very aesthetic product. So we have 5 core advantages or selling points. For our distributors or dealers, we have another surprise. It is a small size, so it's easy to transport. No matter you transport by trucks or by container, we can improve the loading capacity by about 41 to 43%. This also lower down the labor cost and the transportation cost. So this is a good fit to low carbon emission and environmental friendly. So such an excellent product, when it will be available in the market, and what is the plan of mass production? Next January, we will have the first shipment, and in the next 3 years, we will have a mass production of 5, 10, and 15 gigawatt. And we will guarantee the supply to our distributors. If necessary, we will increase our production capacity of VerTex S. Here, I want to present the VerTex family launched in the recent years. And the mainstream is 400 or 480 volt, and we have 405, 500, 550, and up to 600, even 660 watt. So we want to cover the ground power plant and the rooftop applications. So all our users can benefit from our products. We want to create more value for our users. At the very end, dear friends, honorable guests, I would like to draw a conclusion of today's presentation. Here we gathered in Jinan to have the global launch of VerTex S. It is a designated product for distributed rooftop, and it's an excellent and good value for money. And there are the following core competitiveness, and it has a power of improvement of 30 to 60 watt, and the power yield is improved by 10 to 23%. That is convertible to the mainstream mounting solutions, and the inverters lower degradation, longer warranty, big on power but small on size. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Dr. Zhang, for your presentation.
Hello, everyone. Very glad to attend Trina Solar's new products launch event this afternoon in Shanghai. I'm Holly Hu from IHS Markit. Today, I will go through with you about the global solar market demand and new trend for the module products. In the next 20 minutes, I will go through the two parts. And first part, I will give you ideas about our view for the next few years solar market development, and especially after a lot of country and the national announced their low carbon targets, especially like China mainland. We have announced 2016 carbon neutral plans just 2 months ago, and also we will go through from the supply chain side how the solar supply chain can make solar become more attractive in the LCOE level and with high efficiency products. And the module side, we have a new trends for the power part. Okay, let's move on to the market side. IHS Markit estimate the renewables will count in more than 80% of the new capacity add in globally into the 2020 to 2025 and represent like $1.5 trillion investment opportunity in the next 5 to 6 years. And in the bar chart, we actually showing the new capacity of renewables, especially solar and wind, will adding into the key 5 regions. The Asia Pacific still dominates region and covers more than 53% of global renewable investment. And European, Americans, and Latin American with Middle East and Africa also have like 20 and 30% growth in capacity add into the next 5 years. And we are assuming like over 1,200 gigawatts renewables will adding into the next period of 5 years period. And roughly with 240 gigawatts per year will adding to the globally. And I think this one is still quite a conservative way because after European, they start with the carbon target earlier since the Paris Agreement. And then our country, mainland China, our president, Xi also announced on the early September this year to target 216 carbon neutral plan. And also the few days ago, and Japan also announced the carbon future target again. So with those main region and country to move into the more green world abilities, I think renewables will definitely become the key source to generate this low carbon neutral plans. And also, we are going to see the short-term assets investment in the renewable sectors. We actually break down the renewable assets investment by technology in the right-hand side chart. And so we announced this nearly $1.5 trillion investment will happening in this 6 years, and roughly $215 per year. And so with the technology breakdown, we are funding like solar PV utility scale and distribution generation will cover the main shapes of renewable assets in the next few years. And we are assuming like 30% of renewable assets will coming to the distribution generation, mainly from the system size below 5 megawatts. And also from another point, actually, we saw the growth of investment actually quite stabilized in the next few years, because with the cost level of investment decrease in the next few years, and also with the new capacity add in the few years, and we are assuming the fast decrease of the cost from solar and deficit the growth of capacity increase in the next few years. Okay, then we are going to talk about the solar market installation annually by key regions. From this graph, we're showing the global solar installation in 2010 to 2024. Demand for solar PV has expanded rapidly throughout the last decade, and growing from annual installation of 20 gigawatts to 124 in 2019, actually nearly 6 times for the annual installation. So the big implication of solar become mainstream for the renewable additions in the world. And actually, Europeans start with the solar earlier in 2010 and 2012, because at that time, Germany, Italy, they started with a quite jealous FIT policy and accelerate the demand for those European countries. And since 2013, our country, China, started with the FIT program, and quite significant increase the demand for the utility scale of China market, and making China become the leading demand solar installed country in the world. And till 2017, the Chinese market shares reached to more than 50% in globally. And but the utility scale and the large size of program, they were facing some problem when they're rushed installed in that time, because we were facing the quite higher financial burden, and also in the Western province, we are facing quite higher curtailment rate at that time. So since 2018, the government start to little bit control the policy and moving to the more diversified demand like DPV. And then China still be the #1 market in the world, but we saw the solar market become more diversified. Actually, we are checking some interesting point of data. In 2010, we have only 3 countries past the gigawatt level of installation per year. But in 2020, we have more than like 16 countries already past the gigawatt level per year. And to 2024, we have more than 20 countries will pass the gigawatt level per year annually and to install solar. So our solar market become quite diversified later on. And that means more countries and national, they will put more attention on the renewable, especially solar. And also, we want to elaborate on the growth rate. Actually, 2020 is quite special year for solar as well, because we are showing the negative annual growth rate, the first time in the historical in the world solar installation. In the past, normally solar annual installation have more than 10% growth rate annually. Even sometimes we have more than 40 to 50% growth in the better year. But 2020, we have a negative 6% negative decrease in this year. I think there's comes to 2 parts. The first one is the pandemic of COVID-19 happened since early of this year, and everyone just worry about the demand for the solar this year. But from our the tracking part, we are thinking the demand is quite stabilized and better than our expectation. However, in the second half, we also, another reason we're seeing the decline is from the supply chain side. We are seeing a little bit price hike from the poly to the glass side, and they're making the impacts of total demand or installation speed of this year. So given 2020 total global solar installation still will be reached like 120 gigawatts level. Okay, we move to the next slide to give you more details about this global coming from different segmentations. We are estimate the solar installation by key 3 types. One is residential, and second is commercial. The third one is utility scales. The residential, normally we're using the system size below 10 kilowatt, and commercial is between 10 kilowatts to 5 megawatts. And utility scale projects, we normally use larger than 5 megawatts projects. So from the map, from the graph, we are showing like nearly 40% of global demand will come into the commercial and residential sectors in the next 5 years, from 2020 to 2024. And also we are showing like the system, we normally define DPV like the residential and commercial site. And we also want to clarify about the key countries regarding this segmentation. Because when we analysis different markets, we were finding the demand driver will different between the market to market. And the first part actually is come from the policy side, because different countries, they have a different solar and renewable target, and they are target different type of solar. And like in the right-hand side, we have showing the shares of demand comes more from the commercial side and residential countries like Switzerland, Belgium, Austria, Japan, Germany, Netherlands, Italy. Those countries, their DPV shares in their total demand over 85% in our cumulative installation forecast. And then that's the country why we are thinking those segmentation will impact with the product choice, because in the larger size of utility demand, they more care about the percent of LCOE with the total investment. And also for the DPV segment demand, they are more care about also the affordability and reliability. So next slide, we are showing the most European country, how their the drivers for this market to increasing their DPV segmentation. Actually, we summarized the 4 factors. The first one is what I mentioned already, is the policy side. That's one that is the one directly leading or drivers the demand for this market. And also the cost down of total solar system decline, and some country they prefer added storage to adding the reliable or sustainability for the total package. And then another factor is the retail power price. An interesting point is in some European country, we're finding the gap between the retail power price and the cost of LCOE for solar is become quite big, and that making the scissors gap between those two, and making a lot of clients and developer there quite interesting, bring into the demand into the sector, and they can earn the quite bad benefit from this better position of the renewable. The other part I want to mention in this area is the awareness of a renewable, or the awareness of low carbon target become more important to some regions, especially we know in Europe and in Japan, those developed country, they're quite concerned about the environment protection, and renewable become quite interesting point to them to accept the source to adding the solar and wind in their countries. And and quite close to the end users in the next few years. Okay, so after we talk about demand, then we are showing the trends for the from the supply chain side. How was the solar supply chain achieve a more attractive or competitive LCOE level in the past few years, and then how the module trend become the cost down and the more efficiency products to the panel level. Okay, solar panel actually can be installed in quite application ways, varied from the rooftop, commercial roof, and also the ground mounted. And the system size is quite valid as well, from the small residential system to the gigawatt level of solar power plants. So the cost will still be the central of the solar usage, because when the solar become affordable is the first question when we are raising up into the industry. So we are looking through the costs, or we call it module blended ASP in past 10 decades, past the decades, and we're finding nearly 90% of module ASP was declined since last 10 years, from $2.4 per watt to nowadays like to 26 cents. That's globally average ASP. And also like China, mainland, and India still be quite a price sensitive market, with only 21 cents, $21 per watt module ASP. And this quite harsh and significant decline for the module side, well driven by our technology enhancement. So in the next decade, we'll forecast the global solar levelized LCOE level will further decline by 40%, and definitely the technology continues playing a quite important role, and more efficiency and more powerful module products will be driver this cost down in the next few years. And even into the 2015 level of LCOE level, we are forecasting like nearly more than 50% LCOE decrease in the next 2 decades. And with the more country and more demands coming to the renewable, especially solar, that will drive more cost down in the future. And we also analysis with the solar supply chain, how the whole supply chain can be generate this past a significant cost down. We are divided by 2 types. One is from improving product efficiency with higher power wattage from the solar side, from the module especially. And also the other part is the cutting the manufacturing cost by more localized value chain with the economic production scales. So when these 2 part of factor drivers, solar supply chain making the solar LCOE become more attractive or more competitive with other sources. So we are going to talk about more details about the technology improvement with the power increase in the few years ago. And we are experiencing actually the mono products replace multi by last few years, become the dominant share of products in the past few years. And also also the PERC start to replace with traditional conventional BSF module, and bifacial module become more available or gain more shares in the next few years. And we saw another trend is the large size or higher power of module become the new trends for the market right now. In the past, we normally saw the module power range increasing like 10 to 50 watt per year. But since 2019 and end of 2019 or start with 2020, we saw the module power become quite significant increase, more than 100 watt, from 400 watt to 500 watt, even 600 watt. So I think the leading players in these areas contribute a lot of efforts in the R&D and the capacity expansion part. So that's increasingly of power module making the total system cost directly decrease, because if you're counting the dollar per watt investment, that will be significantly decrease your per watt installations in the system way, and also with the more powerful panels, you can save more place. Okay, and then we see some trends in some past quarters to showing the larger module become the trend. Actually, in quarterly, we showing since 2017 Q1 to the second quarter of this year, and the 300 watts become the mainstream of the module shipment. However, we saw a quickly increasing of 400 watt products become to gaining market. Like in the pie chart in the right hand side, we are showing like the 400 watt product start to from 0 point in 2019 and starting to getting nearly 50% of market share in the first half of this year. And gradually we are seeing more country or more regions they are prefer with the higher module voltage product power products in the past few quarters. So the large size of module become the new trend in the solar market. And that's I think that's why we have three key factor to driving this technology or to driving this market demand into this way, because solar supply chain always achieving more affordable products to the clients, and we want to provide more reliable products to the clients. And the final way is with the target showing like low carbon strategy in the energy transmission period. The sustainability is another factor to supporting the more country or more company to delegate this efforts into the renewable, especially in solar. So I think larger module become the trends in the future, and then they were helping solar become more attractive in the cost level, in the efficiency level, and also to help the globally with to target with low carbon future. Okay, that is my presentation. Thank you. Get back to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hu, for the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today's VerTex Global Launch event. Thank you for all your participation. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are interested in VerTex S products, please contact our sales representative to deploy this exciting VerTex S product on your rooftop. See you next time.